My first attempt, smiling, laughing, having a good time. You'll see me on my third attempt, smiling, laughing, having a good time. And as soon as I touch the bar, it's, ugh. I'm here to lift weights. I want to compete, but I'm not strong enough yet. And I'm like, you are never going to be strong enough to compete if that's the mindset that you're going to have. Mm-hmm. I smile after every fail because I'm happy to be here, man. I'm just happy to have the opportunities that I have and that I do get to enjoy.
Time to sit down, keep it real, and cut the bullshit. Welcome to Table Talk. And we have to jump off of what we were just talking about. Yeah. Right. Perfect. So you said that you had a hard time crapping in public. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So how did you overcome that?
So during every meet prep, like it started to just happen where, you know how a recomp is, where you have to when you got to go, you got to go now. So what I started to do was I started to rate bathrooms, like rinky dink, Circle K in the middle of nowhere. And I would always get the location and say, you know, Quick Star in London, Ohio, we'll give it a 3.8 out of 10. Yeah. And I base it off of a lot of things like quality of toilet paper, whether they have air dryers or paper towels. Cause I'm a paper towel guy. I can't stand the air dryers. Cleanliness, smell, traffic.
So how did this help you to be able to then?
Because it's so comedy. Cause it's okay, so people are going to laugh clearly at probably the fact that I'm taking a picture and putting it on my story of me in the bathroom anywhere, and then here I am.
So you're videoing it?
No, I take a picture and then I put a big long bio of we'll give it this because of X, and I do bullet points of
So
why.
What's the worst one that you've seen?
Ooh, there's been bad. So Walmarts have never been over a 4, if that.
Oh, so this is on a scale?
Oh, dude. Yeah. So I went into, it's funny because the recent one, one of the more recent ones I did was a Walmart. And I'm like, listen, people, this Walmart might actually break the Walmart record and actually go above a 3.9. We might give it a 4. And as I'm not even I couldn't even make this up. As I'm sitting there and I post a picture with all the bullet points and whatnot, the fucking lights shut off before I even wipe. And I'm
so you're doing this, you're making the post as you're taking
I'm taking a shit, yeah.
Okay.
So the lights turn off and I'm on the shitter.
You're trying to activate that, yeah.
I get up and waddle over a little bit to try and can't. And I'm like, well, that just got docked.
Yeah.
I'm I can't even see. Now it's a we're playing, who knows? At that point, am I clean or am I not? I just kind of left.
One of my most recent experiences such as that is, we were traveling to South Carolina and it was a rest area, right? And the rest areas it was a weird one, man, because it was broken up to where each toilet had its own room, right? The weirdest damn thing ever.
Those are awesome though.
Yeah.
Privacy.
Yes.
Nobody can even put their hand under there and pass you toilet paper if they need.
And I had to go. It was a blowout experience. So I just go straight in, blow out, then I look and there's no toilet paper.
Oh no.
So now you're in this, you see what I'm saying? So now you're in this room and there's nothing you can do. Right. So I'm sitting there and I left my phone in the car.
No.
So I can't text my wife.
Hey, come into the men's bathroom quick.
Right. So then you start looking through the trash. Yeah. There's got to be something in the trash just temporarily.
Was there anyone in there with you?
No, because it's just me. It's just one little room.
Oh, wait, it's a separate.
It's a separate room.
Not or not the stall is the room.
No,
it's a totally
separate room, like a cell, like a fucking room, all bricked off.
Oh yeah, you're fucked.
Oh yeah, I'm fucked, right? And so I find a McDonald's bag, right? And then that works enough for me to get out, get the toilet paper, and go back in.
You can't get a 0, so it's got to be a 0.1.
Yeah, but see, I would have ranked it high because you got your own room. You know what I'm saying? Your own
So
house mainly.
That's where it's tricky because then you almost you get into categories. So it's so what do you do with that? Do you do it out of 5? Okay, so in this category of privacy, it gets a 5 out of 5 because it's its own room. No one else is coming in there.
Yes.
You know what I thought was going to be great was Barnes & Noble. because it's way back in the back. No one even thinks about the bathroom in Barnes & Noble. No. People are in and out of that place all the time. I don't know what's in these books.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like, fuck, man, can I just like shit in privacy, please? Yeah. Funny.
What's the best one you found?
The best one, Kohl's. I'm not even like, dude, you go into Kohl's and it smells good. It's usually back there by like, what's that, Sephora or whatever.
Yeah.
It's got a bunch of fragrances and stuff. So usually smells good back there. They keep it pretty clean. It's Kohl's is where it's at, man. If you want to go, Target sucks. Like it's not very good. Just any gas station is like,
no, those are bad.
You're like, fuck, man, I don't want to do this. But like I said, you're in a recomp and you're like, you go. It's wherever. When you got to, it's like now. I'm like, fuck, man, I don't want to do this. But yeah.
Have you used a Buc-ee's?
No, I've never been to one.
Buc-ee's.
Yeah, those are so good.
So you know what the best like convenience store around like that kind of thing that I've been to is Sheetz. Out like, do they have Sheetz here?
Yeah.
Dude, holy fuck! Do you have Quick-Star?
No.
So we have Quick-Star. Y'all's would be like Sheetz, but it. Below, and like I said, I've worked with people from around the country that come from all over the place. So like, everyone over here has been like, dude, Sheetz is where it's at. It's way better than Quick-Star because we got Quick-Star. They got good food, as far as like gas station stuff goes. And so everyone in the Midwest is like, Casey's or Quick-Star, and Quick-Star's got better food, but Quick-Star's where it's at. And they're like, nah, dude, Sheetz. And the first time I had a Sheetz was when I did the American Pro for the first time. I think it was like the American Pro 2. And I was like, I have to stop at Sheetz. And oh my God, like it's the promised land. I love Sheetz. like it's so good. As far as, gas station food goes or convenience store kind of stuff. But yeah.
It's all individual. The servings suck. Right? So I know what you're talking about.
What was crazy about Sheetz is the amount of stuff. So like the little where you go to like order food, the amount of stuff that you can do on that, and like they've got good shit on there, like some tomato paste kind of whatever. I built a breakfast sandwich that had like chicken, eggs. But I just started clicking on stuff. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And it was like the best breakfast sandwich I've ever had in my life. Honestly, if somebody came up to me like, what's the best breakfast sandwich you ever had? I'd be like, dude, it's in Sheetz. Pennsylvania. It was crazy. It was so good.
We should probably talk about powerlifting here.
Yeah.
So how did you get introduced into powerlifting? Because there's some bodybuilding crap that kind of happened throughout this whole thing.
So, I did it did one bodybuilding show.
Just before the powerlifting?
Before powerlifting. And it was men's physique.
So how did you get into training in the first place?
I've kind of always just trained my whole life, for the most part. When I was a kid, it was, I want to be jacked for the girls. I'd had 8-pound dumbbells just doing curls all the time and sit-ups.
Any sports?
I did, just run-of-the-mill football, kind of your basic sports throughout high school. Mainly just probably football throughout high school until I got into my senior year. I didn't go out for any senior sports. I went and at that time UFC was like pretty big or getting there, and so I went and fought cage fought instead. But I also didn't get along with like the high school football coach very well. I had some pretty brash personality, and I put everything into when I was playing. And I'd make plays. Like I was a cornerback. I'd make plays on the other side of the field, and he'd be like, why is my corner on this side of the field making plays on this side? And then he pulled me out and put somebody else in. And I had a problem with it. Cause I'm like, dude, if I'm like here doing good shit and you're telling me I'm doing good shit, why are you pulling me out all the time? Like we didn't get along very well. So like,
were you training for football though? Like the weight training? Like, I'm trying to figure out when the weight training came in.
So like I said, I was always interested in weightlifting. It went from your 8-pound dumbbells doing sit-ups to my mom got me a weight bench, a little wider, like Walmart weight bench, and my dad gave me my grandfather's old concrete weights. And so I had like concrete weights, and I would go down there, I'd bench, I'd do the little, leg extensions, I'd drink chocolate milk before I went to bed. Like I always did something. got the perfect push-up because I saw him on a commercial. I was doing those things were awesome. I'd do the perfect push-up all the time. And then so I never specifically trained hey, I'm going to train for this sport, but I was always trained just because I wanted to be I don't know, I just wanted to be jacked, I guess.
Yeah.
It's funny, or as silly as that sounds as a kid. It was how do I make myself the most appealing to the opposite sex? I mean, I'm a pretty short guy, so it's and I didn't know, obviously I didn't know I was going to be this short my whole life, but it's
waiting for the growth spurt.
Yeah, I'm mid-30s growth spurt's coming, baby. I feel it.
Next year.
So, I was always training, and then in high school, I had met a kid. Oh man, what was his name? I think it was Gavin Kingery was his name, and this kid was he was a big kid. He was always, doing Arnold style workouts, and he'd kick me his muscle and fitness magazines when he was done using them, and he kind of for lack of a better term became my gym partner because we had weights class together. So
I'm laughing because it's kind of giving you the penthouse.
Yeah, oh yeah, great. It was funny story. My first ever was you remember Playboy? Well, I just talked about this past week, which is why I'm thinking about it. Playboy Ginger Spice. It was my uncle's, and I stole it, and I kept that thing. I still probably got it, but it probably doesn't open as well, but it still got it. But no, we kind of became gym partners, and then I had a weights class in high school, so I would just train during that, and then
So when did bodybuilding come in?
So that was, I was always interested in it because obviously you're reading Muscle Fitness and dumb shit like that. I trained, so my senior year, I didn't go out for any high school sports. I fought MMA, did jiu-jitsu, kind of trained a bunch of stuff, did a lot of different things. And then graduated high school and started hammering the drinks. Just started drinking like something. It's you don't like to put or label yourself, but for lack of a better term, I suppose it's probably as close to alcoholism as you could get. I was drinking a case of beer every day as a kid. I was 19, 20, just pounding beers every day. When you live in a small town, you can do that. It's fairly accessible.
I think it can be done just about anywhere.
Right. But I was just telling him, I'm how
being able to buy it, right? Because you're underage. Right?
I couldn't, but I had buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I told, actually I was asking him, I'm how big is London? He's you looked it up, it was 10,000. I grew up in a town of 600.
Oh, wow.
We're small. We're small. So I started drinking heavily, break up. You're a kid. And I was at first, for the first 2 weeks, it was oh, I hope people pay attention to me drinking my life away and they feel bad for me. Maybe I'll get another girlfriend out of this kind of thing. You know what I mean? Well, it's I like to think of things realistically as why is usually people do things for attention or some sort of attention, whether it be good or bad. And I was screaming for attention. Hey, somebody pay attention to me. I want you to see how hurt I am from this girl. Right?
Did it work?
No. 2 weeks later, I was having too much fun. I was you know what? Fuck this. I just like drinking.
Yeah.
And so I just bad. And I got down to 113 pounds. I was 125 in high school. So I'm not big by any means at all. But I was 125 in high school. I had some muscle mass. And to be 113 pounds I'm graduated. You're supposed to be an adult. I'm a grown ass man at 113. And I couldn't figure out why I was not getting any ass, man. I was out at bars and throwing some serious game. I'm not saying whatever, but very respectful. I've never been off the wall. I've always been super about respect and whatnot. And I would approach.
Well, maybe that was the problem.
Oh, maybe. That bad boy. You gotta be degrading. What's up, bitch? So I'd go up. Hey, I saw you didn't have a drink. You just finished yours. I was wondering if I could buy you a drink. She's you're too short for me. Really? Okay. I said, really? Well, I mean, to be honest, you're too fat for me. I just kind of offered a drink, and that's happened a couple times. This actually happened. I got slapped right in the face, right a couple times in a bar. I was like, fuck, I can't do shit about my height. What are you talking about? So one day I did. I looked at myself and I'm like, oh my God. Like, I look like I belong in the Holocaust. Like, I'm so small. I'm 113 pounds, and I stopped drinking that day. Just done. Cold turkey. Got a gym membership and started training. That rolled into, other things, gym, networking, talking to people. And I think a few people were getting ready for a bodybuilding show, and they were like, hey, you kind of like look like you could do one. Why don't you do it? It's like local scene stuff. And I was like, sure, why not?
Did you diet for it?
I did it all myself. No coach, no nothing. I'm pretty proud of how far I went. Not far I went, but like how I looked as far as like bodybuilding goes. I was pretty proud how I looked being a kid, not even 21, and doing it myself. And then I got into the community. I did that show. Like I said, networking, trying to talk to people in the back room, the pump room. And it just seemed like nobody wanted to fucking talk to you unless you had a name, if that makes sense. Like, they just kind of like snubbed you off. And I'm a charismatic guy. I like to talk to people. I'm like that at meets. I'm like that everywhere. I like to hear people's stories and just make as many fucking friends as I can possible. Because it's just, I'm only here for a certain amount of time. Why not enjoy it?
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to talk to people, network. Out of people come opportunities like this. And yeah, it just rubbed me the wrong way. It was not, I was like, God, this sucks.
Was it just one show you did? One show.
And then at the same time, I had gotten at the gym that I was at, I'd gotten in contact with, and I met this kid, Corey Svensson was his name, and he did compete, and I have nothing but the highest accolades or the highest, like, I hold this dude in such high regards. Oh my God. If we could talk about Corey Svensson for a second, this kid, talk about a waste of talent. He's going to love if he sees this, he's going to love. Talk about a waste of talent. He's going to be, man, you really said that? This kid would have been John Hackenmore. I'm sure everyone has one, but like, holy fuck. I went through his open powerlifting once, and he was, I think he squat as much as Yuri that year. Yuri, somebody that nobody fucking knows about anymore, but was like a pioneer. Like, this kid, that dude, insane. Like, when we're talking.
So this guy was training in the gym that you were at in a town of 600 people?
No. So I live like right on the Iowa-Illinois border. I'm on the Illinois side. The gym I train at is just across the bridge over the Mississippi into Iowa. And so it's like 20 minutes to get there. So I would train there in Clinton, Iowa. I don't know if you've ever heard of, but I'm over there training in Clinton, Iowa, and I meet him there, and we hit it off really well. He's training for a meet. And I was like, well, if you're training for a meet, I think I'd like to do that. Who doesn't like to lift heavy? And at the time, I'm like, dude, I could lift heavy. I could power lift, and I can bodybuild. Yeah. I want to do this dual, like, because nobody was doing it really. We were talking like, I think 2013, because I competed for the first time in 2014. So we're talking like, around 2013, I'm like, dude, I could be like a dual threat. Nobody's doing that shit. Yeah. And that was originally like really what I wanted to do, was I wanted to try and like take that, route. But like I said, I can't thank, or I couldn't have asked for a better person to get me into the sport, because and he's a little younger than I am. Corey is, and I'm 34 now. So I think he was like maybe a year or 2 years younger than I am. But how was training in 13, 14, 15 range? Like, people were you just fucking did it. Yeah. Hey, this is going to hurt, but I'm going to do it. Grinders, you got through everything you could possible. Corey was the smartest fucking dude I've ever met in my life when it came to training. because he was so methodical with everything. And I remember, I think it was either his first or second meet. So I guess we'll roll into that. Like I started competing. My first meet, night and day difference to what bodybuilding was. Like I got into the back room, you got people helping you load plates, you got people spotting, asking you, hey, you want this mono, you want this, you want that. Everyone was accepting and helping you out. And then come to find out after the meet, this is one of the best dudes on the planet. Like I met the Lily Bridges, I think my second meet, Ernie Sr. wrapped my knees. Because my knee, the guy that's supposed to wrap my knees kind of backed out last minute. And I'm like, Bill, Bill Carpenter, president of the UPM, I'm like, Bill, I don't have anyone wrap my knees. Like, he goes, try and hit up Ernie. I think he's got a few guys there. Maybe he'd be a good one to do it. So I hit him up and he's like, come find me. I did. And I was like, wow, the humility.
Staying hydrated is huge for training and performance. And this is why today's episode is brought to you by Element. Element gives you exactly what your body needs: 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium, 0 sugar, and no junk. Personally, I like to mix half a pack with my morning oatmeal. I'll use any of the chocolate flavors. I drink it with all my training sessions, watermelon being my favorite. Some other reasons why I use it is stable energy with no crash. It fights off fatigue and cramps, improves mental focus and clarity, helps regulate stress, and supports deeper sleep. And there's no sugar and garbage. Here's the best part. You can try it totally risk-free. Right now, Element is offering a free 8-count sample pack of its most popular flavors with each purchase. You get 2 of each of these 4 fan favorites, perfect for finding your own favorite or sharing with a friend. Don't like it? Give it to a salty friend and Element will give you your money back. Head over to www.drinklmnt.com/table talk.
In the sport of people that were like top tier athletes and just like,
How'd the meet go?
I think my first meet at 148, I squat like 440. This isn't even on open powerlifting. They don't have my first meet on there. I almost thought about emailing, but like, fuck it, I don't care. So my first meet was in 2014. I believe I squat 440. I think I benched 280 something and I deadlift it was like 480 or close to 5, somewhere around there. And then my second meet just kind of took off. It just kind of progressively started getting better. But that was like when I realized, holy shit, like powerlifting is where it's at. It's just a community. The community of powerlifting is what has kept me in the sport for 11 years.
So at that point, you decided the bodybuilding and powerlifting route was...
Oh, no. I was like, fuck bodybuilding. Like, these people suck. I was like, and I'm not saying everyone, but I was like, the experience that I had, I'd only took one, and I was like, nah. And I didn't like myself either when I was doing the bodybuilding thing. I got some fairly douchey, like not douchey as like towards anyone else, but like you're always walking past windows like fucking flexing and doing dumb shit. You know what I mean? Just like the vanity of it was, I was like, cool, but whatever, man. It's not that cool.
So how long was it until you did your second meet then?
I think I competed in, I competed in November of 2014. And then my second meet, I believe, was in like pretty early in 2015. And that's the first one that they had on there.
Yeah. The UPA Powerlifting National Championships.
Yep. And that was
1,300.
Yep.
Total?
So I went from a 1201 total. My total for my first meet was like 1201. I do remember this. My first total was 1201. My next total was 1,300. The next total was, I believe, 1,377. And then 1444.
I mean, leading into 2017, it's 1,526.
Right.
Rapidly.
So, yeah, it was, 17 was the best year of powerlifting I can't say that. I think 2023 might have taken the cake, but like 17 was by far my favorite. At the time I had been hooked up with, Dan Bell was my coach. So he started coaching me literally in 2015.
How'd that happen?
On Abscess, right? So like a buddy of his that I had met somehow, I can't even really remember how I met him. he was supposed to wrap my knees.
This is like a reoccurring thing.
It is, dude. Well, you know how meets go.
Yeah.
Was late wrapping my knees. And so I'm sitting there on stage. I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, I got to get ready. I'm like 4 out, 3 out. And so I hit up Dan because I had went and got a training session. I had went and got a training session in with them that Dan was at. I have a video of it. It's great. I think I squat like 501 really fucking high. Right? Like I always squat high, but I just, just trying to barely
Legal.
Yes, exactly. That's what the rule book states. All these fucking feds that want you to bury it so fucking deep. It's like, But no, I had gotten a training session in with them first because I've always, as sporadic as I am, as off the wall, like we talked before, I was like, just put me in a cannon and fire me away, man. I don't care. Like we're going just a rolling ball of whatever.
Yes.
I do methodically think about some things. Maybe I get that from Corey somehow. I don't know. But I went and got the training session in because I wanted him to wrap my knee. I don't want to go in blind with a knee wrapper that is just, whoa, shit. So I had him wrap my knees. Dan was there. So that's how I got acquainted with Dan to begin with, because we had breakfast that morning and all kinds of shit. So at the meet, I was like, oh, fuck. Because the dude wasn't there. I'm like, hey, Dan. I had only met him once. I'm like, Dan? Like, here I am. Like, Dan's a massive man. And I'm like, Dan, think you could, here I am, a little 148er. Think you could wrap my knees, sir? Yeah. And Dan was cool, dude. He's like, oh, yeah. He is. Yeah. Comes up there, wraps my knees. I got a picture of it still, too. Wraps my knees. And after the meet, he was like, hey, if you ever need anything, let me know. If you want to like train, or if you want any advice, if you want this or that, the other, hit me up. And I did. I took him up. It was the best thing I ever did in my life. I took him up on that offer, and that just kind of...
What changed?
For what?
For your training.
So he introduced me to... Well, I was just like... I didn't know how to train. I trained, but I just kind of like... As far as peaking, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was just hitting... I was like maxing every day. Like, you know what I mean? Like a kid. I was like... I think I did one meet as a junior. Or no, one or two meets as a junior. I can't remember. I was out of the junior division pretty quick, but like... He taught me how to peak.
We taught you how to like linear 5s and 3s.
Yep. So that linear progression type of like, hey, this is how you're going to do a meet prep is going to be a 12-week, and we're going to do a certain percentage of what you want to hit realistically. And that's how I've trained for 11 years.
So before that, you were just
going down the willy-nilly, just kind of hitting whatever I wanted to do. I was like, I think I can do this. I'll show you later a video of me deadlifting sumo for one of the first times. And
now, at any point before this, did you look at your technique on anything?
I did. So I started, that's where like Corey comes into play, and how like I said, this kid was like super way ahead of the times. Like the best way I can describe it, the best way I can put his lore into like perspective was, I watched Corey getting ready for his I believe either second or third meet at 220 as a junior, and he squat like 760, and we're not talking like 760 like pretty close. Like he fucking buried 760. But he was training for that meet, and it was a good environment. He's got a PR deadlift on the bar in training. I think it was like 725 or 730 or something like that. And he does his thing. He gets down, grabs the bar, starts to pull it. This thing fires off the floor so fast, like unbelievably fast. He gets it up to his knee. He pulls sumo, gets it up to his knees, maybe mid quad, drops it. Doesn't even lock it out, just drops it. And here I am like screaming, yeah. I used to have a video. I don't know where it's at. I'm like, yeah. Whoa. So I shut it off. I go, fuck, man. Why didn't you pull that? He goes, it'll be there next time. Something didn't feel right. And I was like, anyone else in their right mind, especially in like the 14, 15 range, like that year, would have just fucking pulled it. Would have just done it and been done with it. He got it up, just barely, doesn't even lock it up, drops it. Something didn't feel right. It'll be their meet day. And it was. It was. And that's the way he trained. He was just very like super fucking smart. And so he actually had an apartment in the gym that we went to. Like his apartment, he worked at the gym, lived in the gym. And so I hung out with Corey all the time, man. I would go over to his house and we would literally just watch YouTube videos on how to train like every fucking day. That was what it was. So we would go over technique and like, I remember because you had Dan Green on here not too long ago, I believe. And I remember one of his videos, I would watch that thing fucking all the time and just study and study and study. And so, yeah, there's the technique aspect of training. I definitely had down pretty quick because I was just always doing little things to get better. One thing I used to do for myself for deadlift was, your little your little sticks that you would use to, shoulder mobility, get ready for whatever. I'd put like I always call them floppy belts because they're not like your regular, belt that you would wear, like a Velcro belt. And I'd put it on, put the stick, down my back, attach it to me with, through the belt. And when I would get down, I'd make sure that I had my head touching the stick. And that's how I figured that shit out on my own. That's just something that I started doing.
So you're figuring out how to hinge.
Yep.
Without even knowing that it was.
I started low barring. I started low bar squatting because I have a tattoo that goes down my spine and I didn't want to ruin the tattoo. So I've always squatted low bar and didn't even know what the fuck I was doing. I just squat low bar. I remember squatting for the first time in Iron Horse. That's the gym that I train at. And Corey being like, "Oh shit, you low bar." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "You low bar." I was like, "No, I just squat." He's like, "No, but the bars, like you're not up on your traps." I'm like, "Oh, I got a fucking tattoo on my spine. I want to rub it off, man."
Yeah. So at what point did you start taking this more serious than most?
Never.
Nope.
Never. I'm just having fun, man. I've had fun. Okay, so I have goals. I'm just really fucking stubborn and dumb. I think like with the right amount of like autism and supplementation, you can have a world champion in anything, right? So like, no, I set goals for myself when I was earlier on in my powerlifting career, very, very, very early on. I was like, I want to have a world record. That's it. I want to have a world record, not a federation world.
I was going to ask, how do you define that?
No, fucking, that's one thing that drives me nuts. Somebody's like, I'm a world record holder. I'm like, really? Go to Open Powerlifting. I don't care what fed it is, IPF, IPL, this, that, and the other. Do you have the heaviest lift that's ever been recorded in competition at that weight class? Yes? No? If not, you're not a world record holder. I don't care. That's just the way I look at it. I'm like, I want to be as good, bad, or ugly as it is, the number one spot, because that's as simple as it is.
Yeah.
It's as simple. Like obviously there's a lot of other, factors that go into it. There's a lot of like people that only care about IPF or IPL or this fed or that fed. And this is the only ones that matter. But to me, I'm like, I want the number one spot, because then personally I will feel good about it. So I set that goal for myself when I first started powerlifting, and I told Corey, I said, I'm going to hold a world record. And he goes, I don't know about that. And I said, I'm going to, and we're 11 years in and I don't. And that's why I'm still, why I'm still powerlifting, essentially. So, yep, that's, and it's been, so have I ever like, actually, like the best way that it's been put to me, because like I said, I don't really live out here in oblivion. Like I'm oblivious to pretty much a lot of shit, and I don't kind of like going by like self-proclaiming. I always hate when people do that too. Like, I'm a country boy. It's like, really? You are? Okay. Like that kind of thing. Heidi, Greeno and Heidi.
Yeah.
So she was talking to me one day, and she was like, I love the way that you approach powerlifting. because you take it as serious as it has to be. She's like, you have the right amount of fun with the right amount of like, I'm going to go fuck shit up on the platform. And that's just how I've been, man. I can flip that switch just like that. I can, you'll see me on my first attempt, smiling, laughing, having a good time. You'll see me on my third attempt, smiling, laughing, having a good time. And as soon as I touch the bar, it's, ugh. And it's not like out of rage, out of this. That's another thing. And I'm like, oh man, that's kind of cringy, but
yeah,
I'm here to lift weights.
So what was it about 2017 that you said was?
It was, so 2017, I think one of the first so around that time we had Powerlifting Watch, not Open Powerlifting. Yeah. It was not nearly as,
streamlined.
Dude. So like, as far as
actually, we had Powerlifting Watch and the magazine Powerlifting USA, and sometimes they didn't jive with each other.
Right, and then there was like, and then you had the Power magazine, Mark Bell's shit, and I was like, I always wanted to see my name in it. So in 2017, it was big for me because I had told people before, I'm gonna have a 600-pound squat at 148, and I literally had somebody tell me, no, you won't. You can't do that. It's too much. I said, really? Because there's a dude in Australia that did it. If he can, why can't I? No, you can't. I said, watch me. And in 2017, I squat 600 pounds. It was big for me because Dan, being my coach, we were having dinner that night before, recomp. And Dan was going through everyone that was there at the table that was competing. That was like, because I think he trained me, and he trained like a couple other people. And he was like, this person's going to do this, but this is going to happen. This person's going to do this, but this. He's like, Dave's going to squat 600, but it's going to be high. And I was like, fuck you. I said, if I squat 600, not high, what are we wagering? $50, $70? Whatever it was. And he's like, yeah, sure. And I went up there and I squat 600. And, as far as I knew from Powerlifting Watch, like I was the first American that did it. Come to find out, I think through like Open Powerlifting stuff, Tony Conyers was. But I had hit 600. First American to ever squat. So to me, I had an American record squat. I'm like one step. I was like the second heaviest squat in the world at 148. And I'm like, whoa, like that was like my first big step towards like, how do you, like you have a goal and you're like, oh my God, it's like right there. Like just excitement, man. I'm like, oh my God, it's there. This is it. Like we're going to have it this year. And then, so I had 600. A few months later, they came out and had Tony Conyers at 605. And I was like, oh, fuck, he took it from me. And we'll come find out he did it before I did. So I was actually the second one. But then I think, I can't remember if it was July or what, I came back and hit 617. And still, I think that's the second, or was the second heaviest. I'm not sure anymore. But I had the second heaviest squat at 148 again. Pushed it even further. I'm like 617. I'm like, God damn, it's there. Also that year, I had a world record on my back. And here we are, like,
what was that world record?
I think it was 639 at the time. It was like Christoph Papanotis or something like that from Australia, I believe. And we chipped it. I had like 640 or 641 on my back. And I remember sitting there getting wrapped, and Corey, my buddy Corey, which this is why I say such a waste of talent, because he got out of the sport. He hit a huge total. I believe beat Ernie Jr. that meet. Huge total in like 15 or 16, I think it was. Completely quit the sport. I'm like, why? I would have had to squat 800, probably hurt myself to get good. Just didn't want to get hurt. And I'm like, you're way too smart for your own good. like who does that? So, but he still wrapped my knees for all these meets. And so I'm sitting there getting my knees wrapped, and this is what sucks, right? So I like look down at Corey and I'm like, dude, he goes, what? I'm like, this is fucking it, man. Like, this is it. we're here. This is what I've been, this is it. And I think I might've got a little into my, little emotional. And I got out there and tried to squat it and it fucking buried me. Yeah. But I was like, God damn it. So that was close. And then like the few years, I think, maybe not that year. Cause I know I have a hiccup in my powerlifting, venture. I got like 17 and then I kind of like 18 to 19, I didn't compete at all. Was, doing the smart thing, but 17 was still good because we had that.
What's the smart thing?
So my wife and I we wanted to have a kid.
All right.
And she was her tubes were tied when we first got together, and I told her, well, I'm having a kid, so we're gonna fucking figure this out. And she's like, I don't know how that's gonna happen. And 2018, it was like we were working on family stuff and was able to, get her tubes, get the procedure. We went down to North Carolina, got the procedure done. And she was stressing super bad. And, I was, at the time I'd come off all supplementation, anything like, cause I didn't want another factor to be involved in any reason that maybe she wouldn't get pregnant, but she got pregnant. And then it was life, man. And then 19 hit, 18 I started my career, my job, and then that was
Were you training at all?
I did a little bit here and there, but it was like, so I'm very much I have to compete in something. I have to, otherwise it's not like fear that I'm going to just start drinking again or anything like that. I just don't want to become a big shitbag and not do anything. You know what I mean? Like, my personality, I'm very much, I have to be, act. I have to compete to want to like have that. I have to have a drive to get in there. Otherwise it's like, what am I doing this for? Like, just like, I don't have to look good. I have a wife. Yeah. Like I don't have to do any of this other stuff. I used to tell people this, you know why I compete? Because I want to,
I have a wife.
I said, you know why I compete? Cause, I like to show other people I'm fucking better than them. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's a little, truth to that. Not so much more as now as it was when I first started powerlifting. It's like, I want to fucking be the best in the world. So I'm going to try and work towards that, and I'm going to have fun doing it.
So during those 2 years, what were you competing in? Did you find any other outlet?
Nope.
Just competing in
the big shit bag, dude. I did. I just I fell out of I was just lazy, man. I was not lazy, but I was doing the life thing, and it was just like, eh.
What pulled you back?
The way I looked and I was like, I was like, God, dude, I used to have it, and I still had goals. That was the other thing, is I still had goals, and I was like, I tell somebody I'm going to fucking do something, I'm going to do it, no matter how long it takes. That's why I've tried to tell all these kids come in the gym, and they're like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. It's a long game. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Well, how do you balance that with somebody telling you that you couldn't squat 600?
I knew it was going to happen eventually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it's going to happen.
Because in essence, you're telling these kids, that they can't in the time period that they want.
That's fair, but it's
it's different when you're on the other side, right?
No, I'm trying to explain to them, because they want to come in and they want to fucking, I'm going to do this. And it's not to tell them that they can't do it. It's to tell them listen, don't get discouraged if you don't fucking break a world record in your first 2 years of competing. Don't do things that are going to hurt you in the first 2 years of competing. Don't do things that are going to put your health at risk in the first X amount of time that you want to achieve this or that or the other, because with age comes wisdom, right? And I'm now, if I was now talking to people, I'm I'd probably wait till I was 30 years old to get on a TRT dose of anything or whatever. I would wait, and these kids are just they're not fucking smart these days.
Well, were you? I mean, because these kids are in the same position you were, say 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. So
I was also, 25. So
you're older than what they Yeah.
I'm not like 18 saying, hey, I'm going to do this in X amount of time. I'm going to run this in X amount of time to get there. It's like, dude, you're fucking 18.
Yeah.
What is this going to do to you in the long run?
Yeah.
Because so like to me, we talked about this earlier. What's the average powerlifting career? Probably 5 years under.
It's a weird one to answer because if we look at open powerlifting, there's so many people that just do one meet and leave.
Yeah.
So that's going to pull the average way down.
Right.
And so I would say it's just a few years.
Yeah.
Maybe 2-3 meets.
Right. I think 5 years is a fair assessment. Like, and that's give or take. Like you're given a cushion there.
I think that's fair because I think it takes around that long to really hit a point where it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
To move
but what happens
forward.
in the next 5 years after that?
Well, most quit.
Nobody fucking knows who you are.
Yeah, well,
nobody cares either.
Yeah.
Like, not saying like I'm gonna go back and forth. Like, I don't care about power. But 11 years in the sport, and I feel like I'm still a novice. I'm still learning. I'm still having fun. It's not like I'm a blimp in the sport. I'm not like a here and gone. I'm like a lasting presence, or trying to be. And I don't know. I guess my niche is I'm trying to show people, like, guys, this is a hobby sport. Let's have fun. And like I said, take it as serious as you need to, but like, this is lifting weights, people. Longevity. Like I want to be that jacked old man that's walking down the street and like people are like, oh shit, he's got it. I hope to compete later in life. But what happens? I've also thought of that. I'm like, what happens after I hit a world record? I'm like, what do I do next? I don't know. There's a bunch of different weight classes, I suppose, but it's like,
you see yourself as a masters lifter?
Hopefully. I like the sport. I like the people that I've been able to meet through the sport. I've built lasting relationships, close relationships with people that like are awesome. I like, one person came up to me at a meet and I felt really bad because I kind of like, I didn't remember their name, but I remember their face, and I usually remember one or the other. But they're like, you know what I got from meeting you, Dave? And I'm like, what? And they're like, you asked me. Because they're like, dude, I know you. When people tell me that, I'm like, what? I'm like, what? Like, now I've kind of like done this, like, not saying I'm anything in the sport, but I've kind of tried to build a persona, like the Dumptruck Dave, the most handsome man under 200 pounds, the kind of thing. I like to roll with it. It's fun. Bama Burr. I always call people by their Instagram handles, right? She's the one that started that. Well, not exactly started that, but she was like, drove it home, put it out in the mainstream, the Dumptruck Dave.
Where'd that come from?
So like everyone talks about how nice of an ass I have. It's for a little guy, and they're like, Dumptruck Dave. I'm like, that, yep. And I just run with it, honestly. I just kind of, I added the most handsome man under 200 pounds. I was self-proclaimed, but I think it's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, people were like, yeah, I know who you are. And I'm like, really? Holy shit. And this guy, he told me, he's like, you know what I took away the most meeting you was you asked me what my story was and who I was, where I came from, and, you wanted to know about me. I'm like, dude, I want to know about everyone. This is like a great community. That's, like I said, that's what's kept me in the sport for 11 years. It's just like how much I enjoy being around everyone. I've always kept out of the drama. There's always been drama in the sport. I've always kept out of it and just kind of done my own thing, stayed in my own little bubble.
How do you do that? And the reason why I'm asking that is because a lot of guys at your level, they get sucked into that. Right. And then when they get sucked into that, they start to forget what the sport's all about.
Because I really don't even know what my level is. I don't even look at myself as an elite powerlifter. Like I said, I'm a novice. I'm year one, phase one.
Well, when you're competing in the bigger meets, right? A lot of times the lifters will lose track of what it's like to lift in the local meet.
Yeah.
For example, they'll they lose track that if you go to a local meet, you might see somebody pull 315 for the first time and they're all excited.
Dude, that's that's like the greatest thing ever to see.
Yes, but when you lose sight of that, right? Yeah. And this is why they lose sight. It's like the Wizard of Oz. They see behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Right. And then they forget about all that because all they see is the drama that's going on.
Yeah.
And the competitiveness. And it is a different level.
I've only been competing in these bigger meets for, I think my first taste of it was in 2013. Or no, not sorry, 23. The Pioneer Open. That was the first one. That was my first. So that was one of my first meets at 165, maybe. I can't really remember. I know that was a really, really, really bad weight cut. When you got this amount of time in the sport, it comes with a lot of different stories. Yeah. And I love story time. One of my favorite ones. Ooh, Dan will love this one. I told him I was going to tell it too.
What'd you weigh before the cut?
For the Pioneer Open? I think it was like 185.
Yeah.
And so I was cutting down to 65 because I'm in the 165 weight class now, 75 kg. For those that don't listen, we're in the States. So I'm going to use pounds. I don't I can't do, I got to sit there like this. And they ask me what my attempts are in kilos. I'm like, I don't fucking know. I tell them pounds and they look at me like I'm offensive or something. I'm like, listen,
whatever's closest.
Listen,
to
like
that.
we're here in the States. Okay. Yeah. So whatever is closest to this, just put that. No, I weighed so I've made the shit ton of rough weight cuts. At 148, it took me a long time to be like, okay, this is it. Like I made my worst one ever was I think I lost 22 pounds in 23 hours.
Did you find that when you move up those weight classes, because I saw this for years with Brian Schwab, because each cut becomes a little harder because every year you train, you put on just a little bit more muscle. Right. And so it gets to a point where the cut is hurting you so bad that you have to move up.
Very bad. Yeah. So my last weight cut in 2017, when I came back in 2020, it was a lot easier because like I said, I had just gotten back into lifting weights again. And then,
so there's not as much muscle mass.
Right. Yeah. So my last one in 17, I think it might've been that one where I said 22 pounds in 23 hours. People think it's crazy. It can happen and it's doable with water loading.
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah. And with a lot of hours in a sauna. And if you will it, you can,
how'd you go about putting it back on?
Dude, my fucking skin turned gray. I looked bad. My eyes went lazy. I was walking through Walmart trying to grab food for recomp and people were just staring at me. There's crackheads everywhere and all them are staring at me like,
hey, you smaller guys are fucking nuts, man. I've seen smaller weight class guys have to be carried into the weigh-in.
It was bad. It was really bad. So I didn't know this, but when I went to weigh-ins, I don't know if you know Bill Carpenter or not, the president of UPA. So his wife told him, you need to go stand next to him and you need to watch him. Cause I was swaying, loopy, my words, I was slurring my words. I was probably I probably should have went to the ER, honestly, but I was just there. And you know what I did? That was before I even knew what the fucking IV was.
You didn't even use bags to get back up?
Pedialyte.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Pedialyte.
How'd you go about managing that? Because if you're too soon on it, you just start peeing everything. But hold on. Did you use diuretics?
No.
Okay.
No, right. I did that one time and it was the worst fucking thing of my life.
People have a hard time recomping.
Dude, the next day I just shit everything out that I try to recomp and it's pointless. So I try my best not to use diuretics. I've only used it one time ever. But yeah, it gets pretty bad. And she had him stand next to me. And then, like I said, all I did was just Pedialyte and a gallon of water. I sip on Pedialyte. I make sure I've had it beaten to my head. Hey, you don't want to do too much too fast. Cause you can really fuck up everything. And now, especially with IVs and I've the network that I've got to build, like friends in the sport everywhere. Like I talk to Trevor Jaffe all the time about recomp, like almost every meet. I'm like, okay, so here's what I'm gonna do for recomp. What do you think? And he's a really cool dude. He's like, hey, this is what I do. Blah, 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 blah. And just fire away. We fire off ideas, and I've had like the best recomps of my life lately. As a matter of fact, I got really good at cutting weight, so it's not so bad. And I stay a little closer to my like
that helps.
Not right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I stepped on the scale earlier. I'm like 185 right now, and we're in a meet prep. I'm like, but it's really easy for me to dial it back in. I never used to diet, and when I found out how to diet was in 2023 after the Pioneer. So the Pioneer was a really bad one.
Well, how was that meet, just from the standpoint of it's
Dude,
one of the bigger meets, right?
So
it's different.
So I had the shoe in with Dan. He helped me get into the meet. So I got into that meet. I knew I was going to do it in sleeves because I had only had a few sleeve meets, or maybe one. And I was like, I want to do another sleeve meet. This is going to be fun. And that was kind of the route that the route that powerlifting was going. But I've always stayed like a wrap. The only reason I've stayed a wraps guy is because I'm like, I have the goal and it's in wraps. And I'm like, it's within like my sights. So why change?
But you're kind of in a weird spot though, because everybody's kind of gone that way.
And I'm like, fuck it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm working on my own shit over here. I don't care what, like, people are crazy if they're like, okay, I'm not getting paid to do this shit. I don't have fucking sponsors to please. I don't have anything. So I just do this for me. And my personal goal is to get a world record, whether that be in wrap sleeves or, wherever. I know I'm closer in wraps, so why not just do wraps?
Yeah.
But no, I'm getting ready for that meet. I had a pretty bad way. Traveling. That was the first time I'd ever traveled for a meet. That was the first time I'd ever competed, I think, in anything outside of the UPA. I've always competed in the UPA because it's accessible. It's close. It's like an hour. I think where I compete is like an hour and 15 from my house. And the community, I've built friendships there. I like know everyone. It's like a brotherhood. You just like everyone there is like, we're so close. But anyways, I get the shoe in to go to the Pioneer. I go to the Pioneer. The travel, that was weird, trying to like manage that. I'd never traveled for a meet, and now I'm down in South Padre, fucking Texas. 2 weeks prior, a buddy of mine from work had killed himself, and so like, hold on, fuck. Okay, I was dealing with that pretty bad. Like that sucked. That was like rough. This is a crazy ass story. So I cut weight. I weigh in and I'm over. And I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? Like, I'm in Texas, man. The closest fucking sauna is 40 minutes away. And I have 45 minutes to fucking, weigh in until I can't weigh in again until the PM session, for weight.
How much were you over?
Not much, but enough.
Yeah.
And so, it's in kilos, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So, I took the rental. Oh God, this is like, I start remembering more shit. The first day I'm down in South Padre, our rental vehicle gets towed. And I have to pay $300 fucking to get it out of impound. That was stupid as fuck. So anyways, this is all happening while I'm trying to fucking cut weight for the biggest meet of my life. So I cut weight. I get on the scale, heavy. I go out to the rental, crank the heat in my sweatpants, and I put the song on that played at his funeral, and I fucking cried the hardest I've ever cried in my life to try and make weight, because I'm like, how am I going to strip myself of anything I have in there? And I'm spitting, I'm fucking blowing snot all over the fucking floor of this thing. I'm just like sobbing. People are coming up to the fucking rental, they're knocking on the door.
Are you okay?
Like, are you okay? Like, my wife's standing outside, and she's like, he's fine. Just let him go. Just let him go. I told the dude, I said, I went back in to weigh in. I said, if I make weight, I'm probably going to kiss you. So, And I stripped naked to weigh in, made it. by just the skin of my teeth. And I barely even got my fucking drawers on before I was jumping in this dude's arms like, oh, fuck yes. Like, thank you so much. So I made it, tried to recomp as best I could. I had a fairly shitty meet. I think there was a lot going on in that time frame. And so I just I had a shitty meet, but I still got first in the weight class. And that was the greatest meet I've ever, like, as far as like being lifter friendly, that was the greatest meet I've ever done. They paid $2,000 per weight class.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Never made that much money in my life, powerlifting. Not even at these bigger ones that I'm doing now for like best lifter. And that was per weight class. And then there was like, you know, the top 3, but I was nowhere near that.
Mm-hmm.
You had like Blake LeHue, Derek Thistlethwaite, and Dan was there. And like there was no way in fuck I was getting top 3, but now I'm putting up a fight. Well, in wraps, not in sleeves, but in wraps. Now I'm putting up quite a fight. The meet I'm getting ready for now, I'm gonna do Midwest. I'm gonna go back to UPA. I'm gonna do Midwest Monsters in Des Moines. I'm gonna try and I'm gonna do sleeves again, and I'm gonna try and push my just for fun. I was like, fuck it, because historically, so what had happened that year was I competed at the Pioneer Open in sleeves. Really built up my sleeve squat. Like I think I squat 630 in training in sleeves at 165. That meet came into the American Pro was the next one I did that year. I had 2 big ones that year. Like I was like, oh shit, like now we're big time. It was the American Pro 2. And I had met a girl there at the Pioneer Open, Brittany Trahan. I don't know if you've ever heard of her. She's phenomenal person, phenomenal lifter. I can't remember if she's squat 5 or deadlift 5. Strong as fuck. But I had seen her on her page doing some shit about dieting, and I was like, hey, how the fuck? Because I met her at the Pioneer Open, and I just asked her, I'm like, how the fuck do you like diet for this shit? Like, what the fuck am I doing? And she was like, because we were around the same weight class. So she's like, here's what I do. 5 ounces of meat, half cup of rice. And that's what I did every fucking day. Like I did that mid prep into the American Pro the last 5 weeks. Mm-hmm. I dropped weight so fucking fast. It was insane.
Did it affect your training at all?
No. I was stronger than ever. And I'm like, whoa. That's when I realized, I'm like, holy shit, this like dieting for meats thing is kind of fucking crazy, right? Like, I should probably do this more.
Yeah, like nutrition matters.
Yeah, I've just been dragging one foot behind me my whole fucking powerlifting career until 2023, where I'm like, damn, dude, like diet on top of like fucking like everything else. Holy shit, this is crazy. And I walk into the Pioneer, I walk into the American Pro 2 as an amateur. I did the morning session, and I think it's dots now or whatever. I dotsed enough to get the 6th highest dots included into the like the prime time shit. But I hit a 694 squat. I don't give a fuck about bench. My bench sucks, man. My bench slacks pretty bad. And then I pulled, I believe, 672. Loaded 633 is the greatest fucking miss of my life. Like I almost pulled 633. If it wasn't such a fast meet, I would have fucking had it all day.
You mean 733?
Or sorry, 733. 733. So at the time, it's like I did that. A buddy of mine's like, hey, I'm going to retire from powerlifting. I'm not going to compete anymore. I'd like to share the platform with you one last time. UPA. And I'm like, dude, I just got done competing like 2 weeks prior from what this meet was. I'm like, I can't do it. I just got done. He's like, come on, like it would just mean a lot to me. And I'm like, fuck it. You know what? Whatever. I'll just go out there and have fun. I'll just do it. Wasn't going to cut weight. But then again, I was like, I don't want my first meet at 181 to be a fucking bust. So I was like, fuck this. And I made a second weight cut in 2 weeks. I could, because my weight cut was so forgiving after learning how to diet. And when I learned how to diet, I was like, whoa, dude, like I have a lot more that I can put back on, like a lot of muscle I can put on before I actually have to like really think about, because otherwise before that, I'm like, dude, I've only been competing in 65 for not too long. I have to move up another weight class already. And I walked into that meet. We're talking UPA, so longer meet, because these big ones are fast. They're so fast, like 3.5 hours, 4 hours. Dude, that's fucking too fast for me. Seriously, I think that like if you want to meet, or if you want to see people at their absolute strongest, no questions asked, you gotta give them some fucking time, man. I know powerlifting's a boring fucking sport, and we're trying to like mainstream this sport, or like make it. It's never going to be. It's not strongman. It's not the NFL. It's not any of these other fucking sports. Like, it's not that. Sure, like shortening a meet could make it more enticing. I hardly believe that that's the route that you have to go to make these meets fucking just go like powerlifting to go mainstream. But if you want somebody at their absolute strongest, you gotta give them some fucking time to recover. So, like I said, cut weight, compete again 2 weeks later after the American Pro 2, and that's when I squat 705 and deadlift 716 in the same meet. I was the first, and I will fucking go on the record and say this, I don't give a shit, because I looked at open powerlifting. I was before Austin Perkins, I was the first, and yeah, I might have been in reps, but I was the first 165er to squat and deadlift in the sevens in the same meet. And the only reason I looked that up was because I had been talking to an old head powerlifter that I've been buddies with forever. And he was telling me about a different guy, like that at 181 he's like, yeah, and he did this and this in the same meet. And I'm like, oh, fuck, that's crazy. And then I was like, you know what? I wonder. And I started looking at my shit, and I was like, oh, fuck, dude, I'm the only one. For the longest time, or for like a little bit, I was like, damn, I'm the only one that's squat 7 and deadlift 7 in the same meet at 165. So it was cool.
How'd you train between those two? Because you got like one session,
dude,
maybe?
I didn't really. I did, but it was more of like a, how do I put it? It's like just, I have to stay active.
Yeah.
It's not like I was going to peak again. I just kind of rode that wave. The difference is the American Pro 2, 3-4 hour meet, UPA 6-7 hour meet, much more, recovery time in between, and I could take a nap if I wanted to, get a meal in, an actual meal in. With these bigger meets, I'm finding that like right after squats are done, I basically have to start warming up bench. I got maybe 15 minutes. And I'm like, fuck, man, it's just too. So by the time I hit deadlift, I get so crampy. Like I'm trying my hardest. I'm trying to like figure out, I'm still figuring out different ways to like approach it. I'm still trying to figure out how to get through these faster meets and sustain, strength throughout and not get so like just fucking, I even started training faster, like trying to get my sessions done faster. Cause historically I've been like the nice slow, this is meet setting. Like I'm going to take my time, kind of whatever, old school, fucking 3-hour gym sessions type of shit. Now I'm like, fuck, man, I gotta get this thing done in like an hour and 45, maybe 2 hours, if that, just to try to condition myself for these faster meets.
Yeah. And do you eat after you squat at a meet?
I try like very light. I usually have like a banana nut muffin and some like other, like a protein bar, but I try to do like keep it light, because I know I'm gonna have to start fucking warming up bench in like 15 minutes. It's very there's just these fast ones, they take a lot out of you. So it's kind of it's like I said, I don't think it's the route to go for me. It's a good approach, but it's like I have a hard time believing that this is the route we take to fucking make the sport mainstream. I think these kids do a good job at that with their little social media stuff. I'm not good at social media, so I just kind of I've tried before. Part of me is like, I don't want to sell out, man. I feel like I gotta sell out so fucking hard to be able to like gain an audience. It's like, whatever.
Well, for what?
Yeah, for what? For nothing. Like, it doesn't make my training any harder. It doesn't make me any closer to a world record. So why the fuck put time into that?
Yeah. Dave Tate here from Elite FTS to talk to you about bands. We've been a supplier of bands for almost 2 decades now. So I've known my way around the band landscape. When I'm talking about bands, I'm talking about floss bands, long bands, short bands, bands you can use for resistance training, mobility training, body weight training, and flossing. One of our most popular bands, or actually our most popular bands, are the long bands. The long bands are typically used the most with squats, bench presses. Our floss bands are bands that you wrap around the joint to be able to help with mobility, circulation. And the short bands are designed for shorter range movements, bench press, deadlifts, and a lot of times people will use them with resistance machines to help accommodate the strength resistance curve. Head over to elitefts.com and look for bands in the toolbar or blowout menu. All right, so with your training, because you've always had somebody kind of help you with the training. Mm-hmm. So if you're working with Greeno now, right?
Yeah.
So
fuck, I can't say enough good about that dude.
Are there things that either him or somebody else has, say, put on your program and you're like, whoa, slow down, that does not work for me?
No, because I've been very much just point me in a direction and I'm gonna go.
You have to have a feeling of what works for you. And
I've came to him with ideas like, hey, I think this will probably work better. Like we've talked recently about adding in some board work to my bench, because I can fire pretty much just about anything off my chest, like within reason, pretty much anything off my chest. I just stop like midway up, just bam, just hit a wall. So I brought that up to him, like, hey, we really got to drive bench, because like bench is where I lack. And I was told a long time ago, like I said, back in 2017, hanging around Dan, and that's when I met Ed Cohn, and I was kind of talking shit to him a bunch, and that's how we kind of like became buds, I guess. Is I just trolled him all the time. I talk shit about Ed, like, and JB Boss. I don't know if you remember them, but they were like, I was real close with them too, like just that Midwest powerlifting crew. And so we kind of just, oh fuck,
your bench locked up.
Oh, my bench. My bench has always fucking sucked. And actually, I think it was one of it was either Jay or Boss. They were like, your bench is your total. And I was like, what? And I was like, oh fuck. And that's when it really started to hit home. I was like, damn, dude, I really got to fucking get better at bench, because like with your squat, with anyone that's like, anyone that's getting up there like pretty elite or like the top 5 in your weight class, all your squats are going to be fairly comparable. All your deadlifts are going to be fairly comparable. Also with squat and deadlift, you can put a lot of fucking pounds on your squat and deadlift really fucking fast. Bench is so much, at least for me, so much hit or miss that it's like, that's like, I'm like, if you were to compare, just because he's number one, Austin Perkins and I, our squat, sure, he's in sleeves. I could probably get there if I did more sleeves, right? But like, our squats are fairly comparable. Our deadlift, fairly comparable. Where he fucking blows me out of the water and everyone else in the top 5 is their bench. And I'm like, fuck, man, bench is your total. If you have a really good bench, sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Because you can put so much onto your squat and deadlift really fucking fast. Little things. At least that's the way I've always looked at it. So
how much has your bench gone up in the past several years?
Honestly, it's gone. So I'm hoping that this year is the first year I'll bench in the 4s, but like, it's been a steady increase more now than it was in the past. And I think that's mainly because like I've put on a little more size, and mass moves mass.
Yeah.
So like I've noticed that I've gotten a little bigger in my upper body and not so much like dump truck down there. So like I'm able to like put a little more on here and there. I do think that one of the biggest like setbacks or like thing that holding my bench back is like I've just been kind of like limping along for a while. like I said before, I'm so close, like it's within reach. Like what? I think the world record squat in reps, or the world record squat's like 722. I just squat 711 this past in September. I'm like, it's there. It's right there. The wrapped total, I believe, is like 1840 or something like that. My best total was 1791. It's like right there. Like I'd take one good meet and I could like break that. But that was that meet after the American Pro 2, I competed 2 weeks later, put 50 pounds on my total. I think I totaled like 1741 at the American Pro and then 1791 like 2 weeks later. That was the difference in your length of meet time. But I've been limping myself along for a while because it's like I can't fucking get these taken care of. All these nagging, like my shoulder crunching while I'm like moving it and shit. I can't get that taken care of right now because I'm so fucking close to what I want to achieve. Will I get stronger afterwards? Probably, but I don't want to take the setback.
Yeah.
It sounds.
Do you approach the bench technique as the same way you do the squat and the deadlift?
With what?
Just your technique and how much you're looking into it.
Yeah, I'm like super methodical. I've tried different things. Like I tried widening because I was like, okay, so what's one way possibly to make this easier? Shorten my bench stroke. It seems like everyone that's benching pretty fucking big has a really wide, whether they can handle it or not, or pretty wide like grip on their bench. And I tried it and I'm like, ooh, that hurts bad. Let's not do that. Just kind of work around all your all the aches and pains. And so that's just what's been working. I don't do a whole lot of overhead stuff. It would probably help a lot. But I told Greeno, I was like, listen, when I do like overhead stuff, it like fucking hurts bad. And he's like, okay, takes that into consideration. Now we train around it. This is your elite level, whatever. Yeah, train around everything that hurts.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll get to that part. What are you, outside of trying to put the boards in, what do you specifically do for the lockout?
For bench?
Yeah.
I've been benching the same way for years. So this is where we have yet to implement board work. But when we do, I think that it's going to pay. So
everything you've done at this point's always been full range? Yeah,
pretty much. Larson press, like just your regular.
Any close grip shit at all?
Yeah, I usually do close grip. So when I was at first, I had, this is like the dream team, right? So I had like Dan and Greeno as my coaches. I got introduced to Greeno. We had a lengthy phone call, and realized that we were really gonna hit it off well. And that was ultimately like what brought me under his wing. But I'm a loyalist, and I'm big on respect and stuff like that. And so I told Greeno right away, I was like, hey, listen, so like I have Dan as my primary. This is how it started. Dan was my coach, good friend of mine. I don't want to step on his toes, but where I was lacking was my off season. And I was like, dude, I'd run Dan's programming for my meet preps. I'd get into an off season and I'm like, this is where it counts. This is where I'm going to make the most ground. And I'm like, Dan, what do I do? And he's like, do 50% for 10 sets of 5, or 5 sets of 10 or whatever. I'm like, there's got to be more to this. This is why I tell people, I don't train. I refuse to train anyone. I refuse to coach anyone. I won't do anything like that. One, I'm too fucking retarded to train myself. Why would I train anyone else? Why would I coach anyone else if I can't do it for myself? Two, the only way I know how to train is the way that Dan and Greeno tell me to. If I were to tell anyone else how to train, I'm essentially stealing their shit. No matter if everyone's doing the same things or not, I feel like that's theft, and that's not me. So I just don't. I'm like, nope. I'm working on myself. And that's how pointers, like as far as like mechanics of lifts and how to do certain movements, I'm fine with like telling people that, but like, as far as like being told how to, like, hey, here's your program, I'm going to build you. No, I will not.
Do you film all your sets to review?
Yep. I film everything. See what might like be, why did that feel wrong? Let's go back and look. Why did that feel good? Let's go back and look. Like, I'm going through that right now with my deadlift, is my deadlift feels like shit. And so I'm going back to the years like 2023, shit like that, where my deadlift felt phenomenal. And I'm like, what in the fuck was I doing different here rather than what I'm doing now? Is my foot placement different? Is my anything different? So, that's how I approach things myself now. So, I'm getting coached by Dan, and I know that there's something missing because I'm like, I have to hit this off season better. I have to do off season better. So I asked Dan, I'm like, hey, do you care if I like talk to anyone about an off season shit? And he's like, I don't care. He's like, what did he say? Shooter's going to shoot or something like that. He said some little quip, right? And I'm like, okay, perfect. And at the same time, I was talking to, Kirsten Skerlock, she's from around the same area and she's a friend of mine. So like, she was like, hey, let me put you in contact with Greeno. And I'm like, sure, why not? She's like, he's going to call you to see if it's a good fit anyways. Cause she said he only takes people that like, they're going to coach, athlete, relationship's going to mesh well. I'm like, now I totally agree with that. Like, perfect. You got to see if you're going to like, work well with somebody. And we quickly found out like this is the place for me to be, because we have like the same sense of humor, like this, like it's nice to, I've always become like, this is funny, like my coach has become like family to me. So I told him off the bat, I said, Greeno, I needed you for my off season, but I ultimately would like to run Dan's meet prep cycle because that's what I'm used to doing. It, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so what we would do is we'd run the off season. He would then in turn, when I got ready for a meet, we'd run Dan's meet prep. And at that point, Dan was like, I was in contact with Dan, but not often about my meet prep, because at this point it's like second nature. I don't even have to ask him any questions. I don't have to this or that or the other. No check-ins. He just kind of assumed that I'm doing all right. And then I asked, I approached Green with some more, because I was like, okay, I'm doing well now. Can I do better? And so I asked Green, I'm like, hey, let's do the same, linear progression, like type of meet prep with my accessory work in a meet prep. Let's try some different stuff. And so it started with that. And then now like this year, this past meet in September, the Power Surge, this was the first complete prep that I said, and I told Dan about it. I said, this is the first complete prep that I was like, Greeno, take the reins. You have my prep, you have my off season, take everything. And he's like, oh fuck. And so now it's just, he's got complete takeover of that and all of my training. But at first, shit, you're thinking Dan Bell and fucking Greeno. Yeah. Like that's a dream team fucking, like I said, I've been super fortunate to have a lot of really, really great mentors. And I don't take it for granted whatsoever.
Where do you see the younger lifters? Because you were talking about them earlier before. Where do you see them screwing up the most? It could be anything. Maybe it's the way they approach the sport. Maybe it's the way they train. Maybe it's the way they're supplementing. Maybe it's the way they don't have a coach. Well, I tell all these kids that and my personal, I'm like the only power lifter in my fucking gym, which sucks. Like I train alone. They've all came in phases, in and out, and for the past like at least 5 years, at least. I'm pretty sure I've been doing this by myself. No one, no spotters or nothing.
unless, it's kind of tricky getting spotters when you're in a gym that's like not powerlifting specific, and you walk out into like the main part of the gym and you're like, who's going to spot me for a 700 plus squat?
Yeah.
You're like, fuck. Sometimes you just kind of like have to do it. So
is there not someplace else you can go?
there is, but so there kind of is. So let's see this, right? There kind of is, but there's another gym in town that has powerlifting equipment. I used to go there. I don't necessarily like the owner that much because he has some shit to say about me at one point in time. And I was like, okay, come on, man. Not to like drama stuff, but like, okay, cool, done. Won't ever go to your gym. You don't need my business. I had been going to his gym. So the gym that I go to is Iron Horse Fitness Club. It's a fitness club. It's in Clinton, Iowa. It's like it's named Iron Horse because the previous owners, there's a big biker bar in Savannah, Illinois. Yeah, there's Poopies and then there's Iron Horse. They were gonna do like a little show on the Battle of the Biker Bars back then, but like on like fucking, I can't remember what channel it was. It's like TLC or some stupid shit like that. But the owner of Iron Horse Motorcycle Club, his son owned the fitness club. So that was Iron Horse, right? Didn't have a mono, didn't have whatever. My buddy Corey and I are going to another gym because we had talked the owner into buying a used monolift and a comp bench. Well, no, I think he had the comp bench, but he got a monolift. Well, better to train on the equipment that you're going to use in a meet. So he got this. We were going over there because it was accessible to, they had the monolift and shit. Brad Gendry, he owns the Iron Horse. We talked to him. We're like, hey, you gonna get we had an opportunity for you to buy this used monolift. I'm like, you didn't do it, man. And he goes, nah, fuck that. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go all out. And he buys a brand new, remember Metal Militia? He buys a brand new Metal Militia monolift and comp bench. We're waiting for that to come in. It finally does. Like I said, Corey was living and working and in the Iron Horse. So he stayed out at this other gym for quite some time. I was paying a dual membership because I've known the owners of Iron Horse for a long time. So I was paying $30 at this other at this other gym, $20 at Iron Horse, and I wrote him a nice letter that said, hey, I appreciate everything that you've done for me. I appreciate the hospitality. Let me come in here and train. Iron Horse is getting a mono and comp bench. I'm not going to pay a dual membership for the same thing. That's silly. And I guess after I had left, the owner had said, well, if he wasn't paying for all this stupid ass protein and this and that and the other, then he could pay for 2 memberships. And I'm like, that's not the fucking point. Like, what the fuck? The point is, like, I'm not paying 2 memberships for the same thing, especially more at your gym. And I'm family friends with like the other gym. I'm like, why the fuck would I stay here? So no harm, no foul. I'm like, just not going to go there. Right. The only other gym that like has equipment like that I would be able to use, like kilo shit like that, which we don't have kilo. I've been training on pound plates for the 11 years. Right. Is there's a few gyms in like Davenport, Iowa, but that's like an hour away. So I'd have to travel an hour. But I like to go out there occasionally, like during a meet prep on my heavy days, just to get some reps in with kilo plates and shit like that.
When you say people come and go, how long do they typically last if you're training with them?
Oh man. I don't know. I had like Corey and I trained together for a few years, and then like I said, he left the sport. We actually had a big crew, like a big powerlifting crew that came in, and I think we all trained together for like around 3 or 4 years. And then it was like, they kind of faded away. And then here and there, there's like kids that come in that want to powerlift or start powerlifting. And I hate this. Oh my God, it's the same fucking thing that you hear over and over and over. These kids, yeah, I want to compete, but I'm not strong enough yet. And I'm like, you are never going to be strong enough to compete. That's the mindset that you're going to have. Just fucking do it. They're like, oh, I don't know, man, but I want to come in and I want to do this and I want to do that. And I'm like, get experience. Get experience. Just fucking compete.
Hey guys, if you're enjoying what you're watching, make sure to take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe.
If they just look at open powerlifting, they'll see they're stronger than what they think they are.
Thank you. And even if they weren't, it's like, dude, you got to start somewhere. You cannot put a price on the experience. Go and do meets. Get a bunch of meets under your belt now, because hardly anything goes right on meet day.
Exactly.
Now, when something goes wrong, you've experienced this before during a meet, you're going to know how to adapt. Otherwise, what? You run around like a chicken head cut off. Yeah. Like, just go and compete. Get this experience and have fun doing it.
Have you seen the sport change since you've been in it? Because you've been in it for over...
I feel like I've been... Is 11 years in the sport a long time? I don't know. I feel like it is.
Yeah.
So I feel like I came into the sport. It's like almost like me being born in the fucking 90s, right? Like I got to experience life before like computers really started to get big, and then they start ushering in like video games and this and that and the other. Like it's like the perfect time. And I feel like I probably entered powerlifting at the perfect time, like pretty gung-ho. And I've got to see some pretty cool cycles of powerlifting as I've competed. And I don't know. I think where the sport is they're really trying to make it something that it's not going to be. And that's you're never going to take the human factor out of things. So they're like, oh, well, we really got to, it's for the lifters. It's for the lifters. We really got to push this and make it mainstream. And it's for the lifters. It's like, dude, I've been to one meet ever. And I can't say that. UPA meets are awesome. And I tell everyone, like all these kids that come in, they're like, I don't know where to compete. I want to do this at the USPA and this and that and the other. I'm like, do UPA meet. It's the greatest, get your feet wet. Like Bill treats powerlifting, as weightlifting. That's what it is. There's none of these extra, it's not super blown out, extravagant, this and that and the other. Like it's just lifting weights. And I've had many conversations with him about it where he's like, dude, this is just fucking lifting. I don't know if you've ever, have you ever met Bill?
Yeah.
He's very I love getting him to laugh because it's kind of hard sometimes, but he's just very straightforward. He's like, man, it's just lifting weights. I'm like, yeah, it is. It is just lifting weights. And I love that that's how you treat it, because then we don't, say, I don't have a fucking start command on bench. I don't have a start command on squat. Why the fuck do we have those? I get it. They want to say it's like a safety, whatever. But if you have control of a bench, you have control of a bench.
Yeah.
Come on. Just let them fucking start the bench when they want. Because I've been held on a bench for fucking ever. And I'm like, holy shit. That was one thing that I had to really get used to. Doing a WRPF or any of these other feds outside of the UPA. When I started competing, I'm like, wow. I got held on a bench on a start command for so long, my fucking arms started shaking. And I got the down command as soon as it started to get too much for me to hold. And it just kind of sunk in. I knew I was going to push it. I already fucking wasted all my energy holding it there. And so that's why I get to the point where I'm like, why? If you want people at their absolute strongest, why are you adding all these extra steps? Let's fucking get people at their strongest. That's why I like monos so much. I can squat right away. That's why I like squatting in the UPA the most out of everything. Squat out of a mono, so I don't have to walk it out. You're getting me at my strongest. I'm not wasting any energy walking that shit out. And as soon as those fucking arms swing out of the way, I'm starting my descent. The least amount of time that I can keep the weight on my back as possible, the more I get to save for later in the whatever. And I don't know. I like it a lot. I think it's a really good fed to get your feet wet and just do it. There's not a whole lot of pressure. It's whatever. But anyways, to go back, there was one fucking meet that I've ever done that really actually felt like it was for the lifters, and they took a huge hit, and it was the Pioneer Open. Because you're fucking paying $2,000 per weight class. That's fucking insane. And I felt really appreciated, if that makes any sense. It was really nice to be out there. And, they do a lot of good stuff for the sport, I feel like. So I'll always support Pioneer. Yeah. Always.
the For the Lifters by the Lifters has been around since forever,
dude.
And I always kind of looked at it as, I get it, but everybody that's running this federation, this meet, no longer lifts.
Right.
So how does that statement stand up if they're no longer
that was one of my
actively doing it?
Right. That was one of my favorite things about like when Jay and Boss were doing their shit, Lifters for Lifters, and they dude, they hooked me up. Like that was like the only sponsor that I had. Now that they don't, exist anymore, I don't have fucking sponsors. But like when they sponsored me, like I didn't have to buy t-shirts. It was nice. I had fucking free t-shirts and they were really cool with like, I was like, hey, like my wraps are getting pretty beat up. Think I can get a pair of wraps. And they just kicked me a pair of wraps. Hey, how much? He said, boss, he's like, we fucking sponsor you. Just take the wraps. I'm like, oh. And it just felt like, it felt good. I was like, oh my God, this is like I said, I don't take shit for granted. It's like any opportunity or anything I've been given or experienced in the sport. It's like, oh my God, this is nice.
So when you said, they're trying to take the sport someplace it's never going to go, where do you think they're trying to take it?
This is just like, I don't know. We're never going to be on ESPN2. Like, come on. Like, dodgeball's on ESPN2. You're not even like,
yeah.
Like I think I saw a fucking, what was that sport where they throw like a football onto a roof and it just falls down. Like that shit is on ESPN2, but like not powerlifting. And I probably is part of the fact is it's a very long day, but I don't know. I just don't, it's not going to get there. I don't think. It's a backyard sport that like people pay attention to, but they pay attention to it if you're like in it, if that makes sense. It's not like, I could be wrong, but like, I feel like the only reason people really pay attention to like strongman now is because Thor and he was in the mountain and fucking whatever. That could be like a off the wall statement, but like, I feel like the youth, like people now, like the younger crowd now, it's very flashy. I need to be super, to get anywhere. And it's like, no, just fucking lift, man. That's all it is. Nobody fucking cares. You will be a blimp in the sport. And then what?
Yeah. Well, it gives people a reason to post. Like they can post their training all the time.
Yeah.
So I wonder if, how many people are doing it just for that.
Yeah.
Versus the actual competing. Right? Because say you wanted to be a social media influencer, which is something that most people want to aspire to be. Most people. It's like some stupid high percentage.
Yeah.
Well, then you have to come up with something to post all the time.
Yeah.
Well, what better thing than, I'm going to train for this meet and I have to train 4 days a week. So that takes care of 4 posts, right?
Exactly. And then, I don't know, I built like the little dump truck persona like that I could run with it, I suppose, if I wanted to, but like, I don't know. I feel like I put a lot more effort into like the only shit I post really is like training videos that I send to my coach that is like, hey, here's how I did today. Or like that might be the only, like instead of sending it to him in a message, I'll be like, okay, I'll post it and I'll tag him. That way he can see it and then he can tell me what I'm doing wrong. Or we can assess from there. Earlier on in my powerlifting career, I think I wanted to maybe be something bigger because I saw these like Pete Rubish and people just doing YouTube stuff. And I was like, oh, that could probably be cool. But I've always been what I told you earlier, imposter syndrome. And we would have never known that until like now everyone's got a syndrome of some kind or some way. But it's, I'm always like, why even, I'm not going to do anything different than anyone else is. So let's just train and I'll make some posts here and there.
So
I think the fun stuff is coming on here and like telling story, like this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like this is awesome.
But you talked about weight cuts, like stories there.
Oh, dude, I got
so what
wild shit.
What's some of the other crazy shit that you've seen?
One of my first meets, My first meet, actually, how about we go back? This is fucking great. Dan, this is the one when I said earlier, Dan's gonna love this fucking story because it's like, whatever. My first meet that I was ever like, okay, let's supplement for this meet. Nobody told me how to do that shit. Nobody told me you can't put a certain amount of stuff into one spot and then just.
Oh shit.
And I ended up getting a fucking abscess the size of a softball. And it had to get cut out of me 9 days before the meet. And I had a gaping hole about that big around, the size of a man finger, because they had to go in there and dig it out with their finger.
So you didn't realize that you were basically sticking into a softball? I mean, it is
I just figured like, I was like, I just figured it was pip. I was like, oh God, this fucking hurts. Well, pretty soon I couldn't fucking walk. I couldn't sit. I couldn't do whatever. And it got so bad that I had 104 temp for like 2 days. And I was sleeping in front of an AC unit, like a window unit, and was still sweating my ass off. And I just felt sick. And I was like, holy fuck, I have to go. Like I finally went to the fucking ER. I was going septic. Like I was close to blood infection, and they cut me open. There's like fucking 6 nurses in there that are watching this shit because it's like, you know, Dr. Pimple Popper type, you know, whatever. They're like, dude, you could be like, this could be like viral. They're like, I could feel him squeezing this shit out, and he's in there. So they shoot me up with a local, right? That only numbed it up enough to where I couldn't feel a scalpel. Everything else in there. I put my belt in my mouth and I started screaming. And if I'm getting hurt, I scream like a bunch of wacky off the wall, like fucking finger in my ass and blah blah blah, blah whatever. I'm like, it feels like you have your fucking finger in my ass cheek, and he's like, well, I do. And I kind of catch it out of the corner. He's just going like this and just digging this shit out. And that was 9 days before a meet, and I didn't pull out. Still cut weight. I had gauze that looked like a straw wrapper.
Oh, they pack it. Yeah. There's a little thing hanging out.
Yeah, I had to pack it from the inside. Well, it was like deep. And so I cut weight. I go to a buddy of mine's house that's also, he's also doing the same meet. And I showered at his house. He gets in the shower after me, and he comes out of the shower, and I'm laying on his kitchen floor, butt ass naked with my ass hanging out. And I'm like, hey man, you want to pack my asshole? And he's like, what the fuck? So he's sitting there with these long ass like Q-tip, and he like packs this stuff down in there. So I asked Dan, I'm like, Dan, the fuck are we gonna do, man? He's like, I said, this might like I'm competing. He's like, you're competing. I'm like, yeah, I'm competing. Absolutely. Fuck yeah. He goes, well, I guess what we did was we took as much gauze as we could possible. We packed that thing as tight as we could, and we just duct taped it to my ass cheek. And I went out there, and I think I still squat like in the mid 5s at 148. And he goes, holy fucking shit, man. Like, wow. The next prep after that, just fine. The next prep after that one, same thing on the other side.
Oh my God.
But this one was a girl finger. And I caught it a little earlier than that. So on the other side, it was just like the size of a golf ball and not a softball. But I started feeling funny, and I was like, I better go in. And that was when they took care of that.
So what's that conversation look like when you go in?
To the hospital?
Yeah. Like, oh, hey, by the way.
Oh no! At the time, I didn't say shit. That was actually like I was like almost divorce territory, because I went in and I was like, oh hey, can you go get the kids from school or something? And hit the button like, hey guys, I'm probably doing something I shouldn't do, and this is why I'm here. And they're like, okay. I was like, I just wanted to let you know, because I didn't throw you a curveball or whatever. But yeah. That was lesson learned. Lesson learned there. Among other things, when I was getting ready for the Pioneer, I knew it was going to be probably a pretty rough weight cut. This is not one of my finer moments. Here's, like I said, there's like as shot out of a cannon as I am, there is some like a little bit of a thought process behind this. So I'm like, okay, so I've used a diuretic before. This is exactly how this rolled, right? The meet prior, I had a really rough weight cut, and I was like, God damn it. And so I'm getting an IV. I'd finally got smart enough to get an IV here and there. And I'm talking to the nurse that's doing the IV, and I'm like, I don't know if you've gauged this, but I pretty much say, well, whatever, whenever. Mm-hmm. Nothing's left off the table. And I'm like, God, I wish there was a way that you could like gag your butthole. And she's like, what? I'm like, like, I know I don't have nothing in my stomach to throw up, but I know I could probably shit, and I don't want to take a diuretic. I wish there was a way to just like, you could just shit and be done with it. And she's like, well, there is. It's called an enema. And I was like, oh, all right. Noted. I'll fucking keep this in mind. So then the next week I'm getting ready for the Pioneer. And I'm like, dude, how am I going to like cut water weight? How am I going to like a diuretic and get all this out of me to help with the weight cut without taking the diuretic? I'll just do an enema. Let's do a trial run. So here I am, and I posted this on my Instagram story. I'm like, here I am on my fucking bathroom floor giving myself a fucking enema, and my wife's in the shower. She's like, what are you doing out there? I'm like, oh, it's in. Yeah. Craziest shit ever. Guess what? I left it in Illinois, and I fucking basically just gave myself an enema for no reason.
They didn't do anything?
No, I took a trial run.
All right.
Because I was going to do it. So the way I thought of it, right, is I was like, I'll do this the first day that I'm down there. That way I'm cleared out, and I'm not going to eat much afterwards, so I won't gain much from food. I'll be fairly cleaned out, but I won't absorb any water either, because I haven't really started like the home stretch of my water load. So like I had it all timed out. I was like, this is when I'm going to do it. I had the nozzles all fucking bought up and shit. So before I traveled to Texas to start this, me or to get this process, because I wanted to get down there with enough time to like get acclimated.
Yeah.
I did a trial run at the house like that week prior. And then I forgot all the stuff up there. So, like I said, I essentially just gave myself an enema for no reason at all, because I forgot everything to begin with. And I'm like,
how much did it pull off you?
A little bit.
It's not a lot.
A little bit. Well, I couldn't like.
It's like a half hour.
Right. Well, but I couldn't like. I couldn't hold it in there as long as they tell you to. You know what I mean? They tell you like you got to sit there for 5 minutes, and I'm like, dude, I got him like a minute and a half in, and I'm sweating bullets. I'm like, holy shit! And I go running into the bathroom. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Yeah. So that was not one of my prouder moments.
So the enema trial run.
Yeah, my little trial enema that I did. Like I said, I've done some wacky ass shit. I've competed during like trials and tribulations, right? Like I've never pulled out of a meet. Before one of the other meets that I did, I almost cut the end of my thumb off. And so I had been training hook too, so I was like, fuck, now I can't hook. So like that meet, I ended up pulling under with this hand and hook on this hand, because like 2 weeks prior they like stitched through my fucking nail and everything. What else? The American Pro last year, I got pneumonia and strep that week leading in. I didn't know what I've never had pneumonia in my life. All I knew is I felt like fucking shit, like bad. And, so I went to the ER, cause I couldn't breathe. I'm like, what in the fuck is going on? And, they were like, dude, you have pneumonia and strep. And I was like, fuck. So they gave me antibiotics. Didn't even have to water load for the American Pro last year, because the antibiotics, like I shit my pants actually. So like, I didn't have to water load because of the antibiotics made me like go so much. I made weight, and then I was trying to recomp, but I'm also taking these antibiotics, and I had pneumonia, so I'm like coughing and shit. And my old lady and I are headed somewhere, and I cough really loud, like I coughed really hard. And as soon as I did, I go, oh fuck. And she's like, what? Because we're in Virginia. Like she thought she was maybe took a wrong turn or something. I'm like, we have to go back to the hotel room like now. She's like, why? I'm like, dude, I just shit my pants. She's like, oh my God. I was like, here's what you have to do. Can you, before you walk in, can you walk behind me just to see, just in case it's like bad? And she's like, yeah. So I get out and I'm like, is it bad? And she goes, oh, honey. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
So she had to run cover.
So she had to run cover behind me into the, and I was like, hey, sure as shit. Like you walk in there's a bunch of people in the lobby. I'm like, fuck, man. Like this is the worst. But yeah, still didn't pull out. Took second to Zottel. So I want to run it back with him. I want to, Justin Zottel. I want to, like we bolted wraps at meet, and I think he was hurt, and I was not on my best, you know, in my best. So, yeah, I keep telling him, I'm like, dude, we got to find a meet to run it back. Cause I want you at your best. And I was like, I think it would be like a really good David and Goliath story. It's like, cause that was the meet. That was when they first, was that PLU? I can't remember. They did a jury system. It was the first time that they did the jury. And, cause Joey Sullivan was his coach. And so we get into deadlifts. I pull my first. Yeah, I pulled my first. When I pulled my second, they were using the kabuki bar. I pulled my second so fast that it like
and double hitch.
Well, when I hit the top, it like, and it was very like, it was little, but like it, sure, whatever. They were calling it for everyone, so I'm not gonna bitch. I'll never bitch. That's another thing. That's another thing I've been seeing a lot of from these like people coming into the sport is bitching at judges. Shut the fuck up. Take it on the chin and fucking live to fight another day. Why are we fighting with judges? You're not going to overturn your call. Shut the fuck up. Just go to your next meet and destroy it. Like I can't stand. I watched somebody scream in a judge's face and they got their lift turn overturned, but I was like, whoa. That was when I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Never. They're there on their own time, not getting paid. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but they're taking time out of their day. Appreciate the judges. Thank you, sir, ma'am. Fucking walk off the stage and go get ready for your next lift. Live to fight another day. So like that shit's wild to me. That's one thing that I have been seeing is like people getting pretty like testy with the judges and stuff. But so they had introduced that jury system. I pulled my first, pulled my second. They red lighted my second on downward motion. Zottel pulled his second, and we disputed it, and he got it taken from him. I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
So like, it was available, so why not? But from an athlete's standpoint, like I agree with disputing my own lifts. I don't agree with disputing someone else's. If that's fair, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if I quite understand the whole thing.
Me neither.
But
if I can come, like it's cool if I can come to them with like evidence on myself. Like if you're gonna give me that opportunity, then why not take it? But for me to like show up with somebody first, like to dispute somebody else's lift.
But if you're competing, you're competing.
Yeah, but it's like what? Why be? I don't know. I just like we're all paying to be there.
Yeah.
If they got a gift, cool. And I gotta fight for my shit, then whatever. But anyways, we disputed it and he got it taken. So like that put me in first overall. And then so I went out and pulled my third. And I remember Greeno's like, I need this one from you. I know when Greeno tells me like, I need this one from you, it's big. I know I'm in a good position to like win. And so I went out, pulled it. It was really weird getting super excited about weight that should have been an opener, if that makes any sense. I had no moment. So it's like really like I pulled it and I was like, I got super excited, but I was like, fuck man, like I know I have way more in me than this. And then Zottel had to come out and pull his third to win. So it was really cool. Yeah. Like it did offer that like really nice head-to-head like competition. But I keep telling him, I'm like, dude, we got to run it back, like at our best, because I think that would be so fun. I got iced to that meet. That sucked ass. I was feeling really good comparably, like for coming in like sick as fuck. I was like, dude, I'm like rolling pretty good, good enough to load 705 on a bar. The guy ahead of me fell out, passed out, did whatever. And I was already wrapped. And you know how it is. Like, you're like fucking amped. Dude, it took him like 10 minutes to get him off there. I'm pretty sure. At least it felt like it.
Yeah.
It was a long time. Like, I know Greeno was like, what the fuck? Like, carry him off there.
Yeah.
Because they had to, then they had to load the bar, like whatever. And they put 705 on. And it was pretty hard to, I was trying. I was like, I gotta get back in that mindset, but it was a while that I sat there and I'm like, holy fuck, man, just drag them off there if you have to. I don't like to be like that, but I was like, man, I was feeling really good. I'm like, dude, comparable, like how I should feel is not how I feel now. I'm like, I'm rolling, and so it's like icing a kicker. So I got iced.
No, I've had that happen
attempt.
before. It sucks.
It sucks. It sucks to have to like try and snap back into it like right away. And I'm like, God damn it. And then, yeah, the end of that meet, I didn't even know I was in first. I was just like, even after he said that, it's like, I need this from you. I was like, I'm probably doing all right. Like, I'm doing pretty good. And then, like, I found out before Zottle went up that I was in first, and I was like, oh shit. But this is powerlifting, right? Like, I go up, and even though Zottle pulls his third and it beats me, I went up there and I was more than happy to watch him pull his third. Because if I was able to push him or someone to do their best, dude, that's all we're here for anyways. That was what drew me into powerlifting, is you would see, you might compete against somebody, but you were still out there cheering them on. Because if they got what they had to, you're like, fuck.
Well, it's not like you can do anything about it.
Yeah, you're like, now I have to.
Yeah, it's not like combat sports.
You're like, now I have to do better.
Yeah.
And the better man wins or not. But like we went, like you said, it's the local scene. It's still great to see somebody like PR just their deadlift.
Yeah.
You go and you see something and you're like, wow. It's just a special moment, man, when you get to see these people like go up there and fucking kill it. No matter what, how long they have in the sport or who they are, we're all the same to me.
All right, tell me about this Muhammad Ali that I got in my notes here.
Yeah.
You met as a
kid. I went to his house 3 different times as a kid, progressively, obviously older every time. My dad is a radio DJ. Was when I was growing up. My parents divorced when I was 3. It wasn't that, dreary. My parents were divorced shit. Like whatever happened in their relationship is their business, not mine. So it never really, affected me much. As a matter of fact, my dad did really good. He had a buddy that he's a radio DJ, a big personality. So he's like, that's probably where I get it from. Yeah. Friends all over the place, right? He had a friend that was getting his pilot's license, and I had a Taekwondo tournament. Like, my dad lived in Michigan. This is where this is relevant. So Muhammad Ali was living in Michigan, and I had a Taekwondo tournament. He gets in the plane with his buddy. He's like, this thing can make it to Savannah in X amount of time? Guy's like, yeah. He goes, let's go. Because there's an airport like close to where, I lived, and flew right in for my Taekwondo tournament, flew right back to Michigan. So I can't hate on my dad, because he definitely was there every other weekend. It didn't have like some weird fucking, shitty life that I get to tap into for my powerlifting rage. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But with that being said, he had a show up in Michigan, and Muhammad Ali liked it and invited him over. So he went over, and then he just continued to invite him. And so he brought me with a few times. Like, I think the first time I was like really, really young, and we got pictures of it. Like, as soon as we got there, we got out of the car, he put me down, and I just walked right up to Muhammad Ali, and he like picks me up and just sat there and hugged me, and we have pictures of it. So it's like, fuck, man, this is like, that shit was like a huge definitive moment in my entire life, because I did every fucking book report from grade school to high school every year on Muhammad Ali. Like it was what, you know, it was awesome. The next year, so it was crazy, because like I don't remember the first time, but I remember seeing the Parkinson's get worse. Like I remember the second time that we went, which would have been the first time that I remember, he could still kind of talk a little bit. And I remember my dad telling me that like he liked magic. So he gave me a dime and told me to like, you know, he's like, go pull it out of his ear, you know, whatever. So I went up to Muhammad Ali and I like, you know, acted like I pulled a dime out of his ear, and he goes, ooh. He goes, ooh, you know, kind of walks over. I watched this man float. To this day, I don't know, you know, float like a butterfly. I have zero clue how he did it. But it was, you know, I'm a kid. I was like, oh my God. Like it was just crazy. And then this was like huge. The last time we visited him, I remember driving up, we saw all of his kids playing basketball out in the yard and stuff. So I probably saw like, I don't know, his daughter that went pretty far in the sport. Like maybe she was there. I don't know. But they were playing basketball. We go in, and he could like barely get out of the chair, really. Like he'd been doing really, really bad. And my dad was telling him that I was getting into combat sports. I was getting into martial arts. And he goes like this, and he kind of like tells me to come over to him. And he puts my hands up like this next to my head, and then he pulls my hand out and he touches it right on his chin. And I was sitting there like, holy fucking shit. Like I got my foot. There's some people that never even touched his fucking chin before, and here I am just, I was like, God, this is some crazy shit. So yeah, I got to meet the champ, the people's champ, the champ of champs in my lifetime. That was pretty cool. Like I said, super definitive moment. And yeah, I've gotten to meet a lot of people. It's been
through your dad?
Yeah, through my dad, and then like through happenstance, dude. Like I talk, as you can see, like I talk, man. So I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of people through like just here and there. And, oh, you know this person? That's crazy, man. And then you just kind of like find yourself in oddball situations where you're just like hanging out with.
Well, you find yourself in oddball situations, right? So how do you position yourself to be in those situations?
Not a clue. Just just networking, man. Just talking to people. Recently, I don't know. I feel like it just happens. It's crazy. So recently, I gained a new friend a new friend on Instagram. You wouldn't believe who it is. Mr. fucking Derek Lunsford, the goddamn Mr. Olympia. Mm-hmm. Not a clue how. Actually, I know how to met him. So I work with his brother-in-law. How the fuck does this happen? Yeah. This is the crazy shit that I mean. It's like just weird stuff. It's like, why? How the fuck do I find out that I work with this dude's brother-in-law?
Mm-hmm. Well, you talk to people, right? Yeah. And you find out. You know, it's a smaller world than we all think.
It's insanely small. Yeah, it's insanely small. Funny how small it is.
Were there any topics that you wanted to go over I didn't bring up?
I don't think so, man. Honestly.
Dark humor.
Oh God, as dark as they come.
Yeah.
I can get.
So where do you find the dark humor content?
Like where? Oh, like where do I find it?
Yeah. Like if you want to watch it, like.
Oh no, it's like, so mostly in the office. You know what I mean? Like it gets pretty rough. Like you joke about some pretty rough stuff. So, like there's always like really bad would you rathers. Some of them maybe a little too like off the wall to speak on, but like there's crazy stuff. I can't remember what we talked about earlier. We talked about some pretty dark ones, but
yeah, it becomes not content friendly for YouTube, I suppose.
No, not at all.
And then I have quotations marks down here for ready for anything at all.
You mean for like
topics that you wanted to discuss?
Oh, dude, it could be like I could talk about.
Oh, I get it. I thought that was like some kind of quote.
No. Well, I guess you could.
I train to be ready for anything at all, you know.
Oh, no. I meant like, listen, we could talk about anything you want. We could talk about friggin' conspiracy theories if you want to. I could go off on anything. No, so I think one of the cool, like real cool stories, non-powerlifts, because we talk about powerlifting. Watch people come in here, and it's nice to personalize people. And like, I always go back to it's just powerlifting. And like I said, that one person, that one story just really resonated with me with that individual that came up to me at a meeting. That's like, you asked me what my story was. And anymore, and I got this from Dan, I think, because when I first started my powerlifting career, it was like very much, you get together with everyone, you talk powerlifting. Well, and then it kind of like shifted, and I don't know, it was like, I think it's good to just, maybe pass this on to like the younger people coming in. It's like, take a breather, talk about other shit, like talk about life, get to know people in the sport, because like you'd be, you know, taken back by like what people go through, what they've done, who they know. And that's how probably I get to meet and do a lot of cool shit, is because I don't ask people just about powerlifting. I don't ask people just about, hey, okay, so I met you through this outlet, but apart from this outlet, what else do you like to do? And then that kind of rolls into other stuff. So like, personally, I think one of the best stories that I've ever had in my lifetime was meeting my wife. Shit doesn't happen like this. If you ever believe in fate, then you just fucking like, this would probably be one of the ones that you're like, huh, how the fuck? I mean, small town living, right? Mm-hmm. But so my wife and I are like 7 years apart. She's 40. I'm just turned 34. So like there's just about 7 years between us. We had ended up working together at some warehouse somewhere. And I was walking through there, and she knew I was interested because I would pull some just dumb shit. I was a kid, so I'd like, oh man, like I was such a fucking douche. Oh my God. We had these sample stickers at this place, and I'd slap a sample sticker on my arm and like flex at her and be like, this is just a sample. You can get the rest later. Like stupid shit like that. Like,
well, it worked.
Who the fuck does that? Like, oh man, I was a kid. I was 23 when we met. And she knew I was interested. This is the most gorgeous woman I've ever seen in my life. The only time that I've ever been like, that's going to be mine right now, until I get a world record, then it'll happen again. But that was like, that's mine. I don't care what it takes. That's going to be mine no matter what. And it worked. But anyways, she come up to me. She goes, hey, were you at a bachelor party a few years back in Albany? And I'm like, fuck. Like, not a few years. It was like quite a few years. And I start thinking, oh my God, what the fuck did I do? Well, here's what I did. I danced on a table in front of her mom's face, and she shoved $13 down my pants, and I just made a big fool of myself. And so like we invited them to go party with us and shit. There was a blow up doll there, like all kinds of wild stuff. Like it was crazy. So I guess her sister had been meeting her for lunch, and I walk out, and this is where maybe the moniker comes. She goes, hey, that's that guy that we call hot butt guy. This is what my wife is saying to her sister. That hot butt guy, you know, I've always had the dump truck.
Yeah.
And she goes, that guy looks familiar. Pulls up a picture from that night, because it happened to be they were out for her sister's birthday. So they had a picture of all this together that I had never seen before in my life. Holy shit. So we hit it off. We go out on our first date. We're going on our second date. And for some reason, I'm showing her some pictures of, you know, going through Facebook, whatever the fuck. And I roll through one of this truck. And she goes, that truck looks like really familiar. We live in a small town. I'm like, well, you probably know who I bought it from. I bought it from some guy in Fulton. Like, you probably know who it is. You're from there. And she's like, did he live down by the Heritage Canyon? This is his place down in Fulton where I live. And I'm like, yeah, actually. Why? She goes, that's my ex-husband's truck. I bought the truck from her fucking ex-husband while they were married. These kids were throwing snowballs at me while I'm trying to buy the trucks, and now my stepdaughter. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, man? Like, you just find, it's just crazy. It's crazy how shit works. And every now and again I get a nice moment where I can like sit back. I don't know if you ever do this, but like I like to sit back. Do you ever sit in here and just look around and be like, I built this? Like, this is fucking wow.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. It's nice. It's nice when you can have those moments. You just sit there, whether you got a beer, whether you don't, and you're just like, oh, wow, how far have I come? And now I'm a 34-year-old grandpa. So I'm living life to the fullest. Now I got that, you know, I'm checking the list down just as fast as I can possible. I tell all these ladies too, yes, I'm married. She knows I talk shit. My wife and I have a very good like relationship, and I talk mad shit to everyone. And I'm like, here she is rolling her eyes at me. I'm like, ladies, you know I'm a grandpa, so if you got a grandpa fetish, I'm your best bet. You better fucking take it while it's hot, because I'm only getting worse. But no, it's I like to have fun, like to talk shit, like to just humor people, and that's the kind of guy I've been. That's kind of how I roll, how I am at these meets. Just have fun and treat it as lifting weights.
Yeah. How can people go about finding you?
I am on Instagram.
That's it.
Yep. Dave Raymond. I keep my Instagram and my Facebook separate. I don't like, my Instagram is nothing but training. Mm-hmm. Facebook, that's family and friends. Every now and again, I'll post something on Facebook about powerlifting just to keep my family and shit in the loop. But like, I separate those two now. It's like, like people don't need to hear about me posting about fucking powerlifting all the time in my family. And same with like, I try to keep my like home life pretty private from like powerlifting. There's a lot, I don't know, man. Social media is weird. There's a lot of creeps out there, so I don't post shit about my kids on Instagram because it's more accessible than like what Facebook is. And I just, I stay pretty private. I mean, to the people that I meet, I'm not, but like, you know how it is.
All right, we'll put the link in the description because it's just one social media, so it makes it
literally it's like easy. super easy. I've never done I did like one YouTube video ever, kind of like dabbling, trying to my hand in some, hey, I'm gonna leave the 148 weight class, here's going to 65, and tried to like edit it and do my own shit. And then I'm like, you know what, man, I don't know. So don't know if it's me or not. Don't know if I'll ever have one. Don't know if I'm interesting enough. Don't know if anything. I just am living life.
No, but
doing my own thing.
The reason why I wanted to have you out is because there's a lot of people that are positioning, peacocking or whatever for attention or coaching or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. But the majority of the people, and this is what people don't get, the majority of the people who are competing in powerlifting don't give a fuck about any of that. They just want to lift weights.
Just a normal guy.
And go to meets and fucking compete, right?
Yep.
But this false reality gets portrayed.
Yeah.
Like everybody that competes does this, and this. And like, no, that's absolutely wrong because you're only seeing the minority of the people that compete. Most people compete because they love it. Yeah. And they're doing this because they love it. Yep. And those people aren't, out.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, and then I think like some people in the sport even take it too serious. It's like, dude, after I failed an attempt at a world record, after I was this close, literally I put 723 on my back last year and I squatted. The spotters didn't take it from me. I got called on depth. It was close too. It was like close enough that it was like teetering, and it was on a big platform. It was on the Power Surge. So it's like, we're there. We're doing big things. You know what I did after that? I smiled. I smile after every fucking fail because I'm happy to be here, man. I'm just happy to have the opportunities that I have and that I do get to enjoy. And I sheerly enjoy myself at these meets. It's not just the lifting weights part. You'll see me talk to everyone I can possible because I like hearing people's stories. I like meeting new people and it's not like it's not like I try to meet new people just to network, just to like, okay, what can I gain out of this? No, I really like, I've built some really, really good friendships out of the sport, lasting friendships that you can't put a price on that.
Well,
And that's been
yeah.
the best part of powerlifting is just the ride.
Well, that is the best part.
Yes.
And I think some people get disillusioned
Yeah.
from that because of what they see.
I think people fail to realize how actually special this community is in powerlifting.
Oh,
to
definitely.
me, especially because like I'll always revert back to like, okay, so I did a bodybuilding show. Big, granted, it was one, but like that's all it took for me. And I don't know. I think the powerlifting community is just it's tight knit. It's not big, but it's special.
It definitely is. I want to thank you for coming out. This has been
appreciate you.
great.
Yeah.
And we're done.
Absolutely.
All content you see on this channel and at elitefts.com is created by, take a guess, Elite FTS. If you want to help support the content, head over to elitefts.com and pick up literally anything that you need to be able to get more jacked and strong.